Got about 5 guys that fell off a bridge. The bridge fell on them. And these guys are hurt bad.
You good?
Right now, a tragic bridge collapse, the moments leading up to the accident, and the safety history of the companies involved.
Hitting the field for helmet safety after the death of a Wake County football player.
And a place to call home for a wounded warrior.
Live from the Triangle, this is WNCN News at 6.
Right now at 6, one person is dead and 4 others injured after a bridge collapse. Good evening. I'm Sean Maroney.
And I'm Sharon Tazwell. Thanks for joining us. We just received the 911 calls from this morning's accident.
I got about 5 guys that fell off a bridge. The bridge fell on them. And these guys are hurt bad.
This all happened at Wake Tech's North Campus off Lewisburg Road. They were working on a pedestrian bridge, part of Wake Tech's expansion, when it collapsed. From the tragic accident to the survivor conditions and the contractor's record, we have team coverage from every angle. Let's start with Steve Sprasia at the scene of the accident. Steve.
Sharon, the bridge that collapsed was supposed to connect this building behind me to a soon-to-be constructed parking garage. It happened just after 10 o'clock this morning, and it happened without warning. It's part of a $50 million renovation project on this part of the campus of Wake Tech in North Raleigh. And when that bridge collapsed, it happened during what was supposed to be a routine pouring of concrete.
While they were pouring it, one section of it collapsed.
This identical walkway gives you an idea of what it's supposed to look like. This mass of rubble is the structure which collapsed.
And this was a pedestrian bridge. It was not designed for vehicles or anything. And the center span collapsed as they were pouring the concrete.
It fell 40 feet into a wetland it was supposed to cross, making it a difficult rescue.
The biggest challenge we had with it being a construction site was getting these folks properly assessed, immobilized, and then extricated back up the hill.
The workers were employed by Central Concrete. They're a subcontractor for Skanska Construction.
We have safety meetings every morning, required safety meetings every morning on site with all the subcontractors. They're required to do their own planning for the day, talk to all their workers about what they're doing, what their risks are.
In addition, Alan Jones tells me that there was supposed to be a supervisor from his company assigned to that subcontractor to make sure the project was done right on their end. He does not know at this point if that supervisor was physically at the scene of the pour when the accident happened. The State Department of Labor is conducting the investigation right now. The Occupational Safety and Health Agency looking into what happened. In the meantime, there are still questions about the conditions of the survivors. For more on that, we go to my colleague Bo Minnick, who is live at Wake Med. Bo?
Hi there, Steve. At this point, we're still awaiting the names of the workers involved to be released. And without those names, Wake Med is unable to release specific condition updates at this time. We can tell you, though, that from that 911 call that was released, there were some frantic calls for help trying to free at least one and maybe some of the workers at that point from concrete that had fallen on top of them. Now, Wake EMS officials tell us that these injuries were considered traumatic, and that's, again, part of the reason why they were brought here to Wake Med. Wake Med actually has a trauma center that's specifically designed to handle life-threatening situations. I also talked with a representative from Skanska, the contractor, who tells me that they're unable to release the names at this time, and also they are working themselves to try and get some condition updates. So again, Wake Med is able to handle life-threatening situations in that trauma center. We don't know those specifically, those 4 workers who were taken here to Wake Med, what their specific conditions are. We're still working on trying to get that confirmed. And again, sadly, one worker did die. Sharon, back to you.
Oh, what a terrible situation. Bill Minnick, thank you.
Our team is also digging into the safety records of the companies involved. WNCN Investigates Jonathan Rodriguez joins us in the studio with the details. Jonathan.
Sean, there's a lot of companies who have their hand in this project, but the bridge in particular is being headed up again by the company called Scansub. They do construction jobs all over the world. So when we asked about their safety record, here's what their senior vice president had to say.
We do have a very robust safety program. I think you can look at that the metrics that construction safety is judged on, and you can see that we have some of the best metrics in the industry there.
So we checked on those records ourselves from the Occupational Safety Health Administration, and the company has very few serious violations in North Carolina. In fact, we only found one in the past 10 years. That was in 2005. So we did some more digging and found that they have had some accidents in the past, including one fatality. That was in 2008 in New York. Now, again, we're told that the employees that were hurt were actually working for a subcontractor, the Central Concrete of North Carolina, based here in Raleigh. We stopped by their office earlier this afternoon, but it was closed and they did not answer their phone. We checked on their past violations and found one. OSHA fined them in 2008 for not having a guardrail at a work site to make sure their employees didn't fall.
Our philosophy on all of this is it happened. Now we got to figure out what we learned from it.
Now, again, the state has taken over this investigation. We'll be the ones who decide if any violations are filed this time. Guys, back to you.
Interesting. All right, Jonathan Rodriguez, thank you. And turning to weather, the Arctic blast has been moving across the country, arrived in central North Carolina today. I'm sure you felt it. Chief Meteorologist Wes Hohenstein is here to tell us how much colder it will be tonight.
We've got to get ready for 30s and then eventually 20s, Sharon. But today we dropped into the 40s after being close to 80 yesterday. And to make matters less comfortable, it was cloudy and we've got some light rain. A lot of this not reaching the ground, most of it along our coastline. So for the next couple of hours, we will keep some light isolated rain in the forecast. And as cold as we are, which right now we're at 48 degrees, it could be a lot worse. We've been watching this system come all the way across the country. Tonight, in the northern plains, the Rocky Mountains, they're dealing with single digits and teens, and that's not even the wind chill. So could always be worse. The front is through. High pressure will push all this cloud cover and rain out of here, and we've got sunshine tomorrow, but it will get cold tonight. So we've got some light rain in the next few hours as we drop into the mid-40s, low 40s overnight, and you're out the door tomorrow morning, Friday morning on the way to work and school, 36, but that could feel like 30, and eventually some sunshine. But that's not the coldest morning we have. I'll tell you when that will be here in just a few minutes.
All right, Wes, thank you. Let's take a live look here at Raleigh. It looks like a nice scene, but as Wes said, it's chilly, so you're going to want your jacket. And you can stay up to date on big weather changes like this one with the WNCN app. There's live radar, forecast, and much more. It's available for Apple and Android devices.
The death of a high school football player is raising new concerns about the kinds of helmets we put on our kids. Rollsville High School's Isaiah Langston collapsed before a game in September. A medical examiner's report shows his death was the result of a serious blow to the head at practice just 2 days earlier. Now, as WNCN's Derek Waller explains, one local high school is leading the charge to get a new kind of helmet that could prevent these kinds of injuries.
Come down. Good.
When Franklinton High football coach Jeremy Buck sends his players on the field, more of them are wearing one of the most advanced helmets available.
And this was the top of the line helmet.
These Rydell helmets with special inserts send alerts if a player takes a serious hit. Now these old helmets have been decommissioned.
A couple of years ago we had a large number of documented concussions in those particular helmets.
It's an effort to avoid the kinds of injuries that may have taken a life just down the road at Rollsville.
My heart just breaks. I can't imagine being a mom and having to bury a child.
Kim Wagner-Salmon is working with other parents in the Booster Club to buy more of those helmet inserts.
Just a handful of players have the special inserts, but at $180 a pop and with 80 players on the field, it's not cheap.
Left, one step to the left, Tariq.
She says it's money well spent.
Your other left.
We've gone to schools where they have smoke machines as their children run out onto the field, and yeah, that's pretty. It gets everybody excited in the stands, it pumps them up. But that smoke machine's not protecting their brain.
Hey, what do you see?
In Franklinton, Derek Waller, WNCN News.
WNCN investigation found several local school districts were using subpar helmets according to those ratings. To find out what helmets your school uses, go to WNCN.com and click on the Don't Miss It section.
Wake Forest is a #1 seed when the state playoffs start tomorrow. But the man who helped get them there will not be on the sidelines. Reggie Lucas has been charged with driving under the influence. Our Todd Gibson is at Wake Forest High School with more.
Football practice has just ended here at Wake Forest High School as the Cougars prepare for tomorrow night's first-round playoff game against Leesville Road. It was a practice that was not conducted by their head football coach, Reggie Lucas. Lucas has been suspended by the school after being charged with DUI last night just before midnight. The length of the suspension is undetermined, and Lucas will continue to teach at Wake Forest. His Cougars are the top-seeded 4AA team in the East, and many feel they have an excellent shot at a possible state title run. Wake Forest hosts Leesville Road tomorrow night. The 43-year-old Lucas has led the Cougars to the state finals 2 of the past 3 years. He was named head coach in 2007 after serving under legendary head coach Earl Smith. Lucas has an 84-17 record at the school. Well, Lucas certainly has ties to the Wake Forest community. He grew up here and starred in football and basketball at Wake Forest High School. I'm Todd Gibson, WNCN News.
All right, Gibby, thank you. And a different #1 seed, Greensboro's Dudley High, has been banned from the playoffs. The team used a junior varsity player in Friday's win over Southeast Guilford. The school appealed, but was denied. And our final pep rally of the year will be at Southern Durham High. The Spartans are the top seed in the 3-double playoffs, taking on Cardinal Gibbons. Pep rally coverage begins at 5 a.m.
Coming up, a Fort Bragg airman honored for courage under fire.
Thomas E. Case, United States Air Force.
The heroic actions that saved hundreds of Army Rangers.
And going the distance, Al Roker's goal to set a weather broadcast record and raise money for the USO.
All right, I'm only going to talk a few minutes about our weather, and it's all about cold. Guess what? We haven't seen the coldest this week. I'll tell you when that'll be here when we return.
Uh-oh, and here's a live look at Interstate 440 and Wade Avenue. Looking pretty good. Your average commute back home. We're coming right back.
Wait, the picture on this CrowdRise page makes it look like a cult leader.
I am.
Here we all are.
All right, Greensboro. We're looking at 41 degrees, partly cloudy skies. How soon do man? They've got this loop that's going on and on. 8:40. Fair skies, 43 degrees. 46 on Saturday. Sunny skies, 54.
Live from the Triangle, this is WNCN News at 6.
An airman base at Fort Bragg is now one of the most highly decorated members of the U.S. military since 9/11.
Today, Air Force Master Sergeant Thomas Case received his second Silver Star Award. Our Brennan Herring was there and has more of the airman's story.
The first Silver Star for Master Sergeant Thomas Case came after his actions in Iraq in 2003, when he put himself in the middle of enemy fire to radio aircraft for backup. Today was all about recognizing his actions in Afghanistan in 2009.
Master Sergeant Thomas E. Case, United States Air Force, heroically distinguished himself through gallantry as a Joint Terminal Attack Controller.
Case again stood in the middle of a gun battle to radio for backup, even having to repair the wires on his radio, and at one point shooting 2 insurgents and saving the life of an Army Ranger, the ground force commander. He says it was just part of his job.
Because it was just another mission set. You wake up, put your boots on, and figure out where you're going next.
But his family says they know how brave he was.
I can't put it into words how proud I am, because I'm really proud. Number one, I'm proud he's here, and that he was meant to do this, you know. I'm very proud of him. He is a special person, a calling for him to be there at the right time.
At Pope Field on Fort Bragg, Brandon Herring, WNCN News.
We're all proud of him. And Master Sergeant Case, he's eligible to retire in 2.5 years. He says he's still trying to figure out if he'll retire immediately or extend his service.
Well, there's a new option for troubled veterans in the Sandhills. Cumberland County opened its Veterans Treatment Court today. It's an alternative sentencing option for veterans who commit misdemeanors or non-violent felonies. Now, if they get help for issues like drug and alcohol abuse, they can get those charges dropped.
They work by honoring the service of our veterans. They work by reducing crime. They work by saving a tremendous amount of money for the taxpayer. And they work by restoring families and communities.
Former West Wing actress Melissa Fitzgerald now works to add veterans courts across the country. 10,000 veterans across the country have gotten help instead of going to prison.
A wounded warrior broke ground on a new home today. It comes from Operation Coming Home. Corporal Ryan Whiteman was wounded in Afghanistan in 2012. He's been recovering at Walter Reed Medical Center and had his leg amputated 2 months ago. But the new year will bring him a new home in Fuquay-Varina and new opportunities.
Looking at trying to go and get a career in prosthetics and orthotics. So just because they've done so much for me to allow me to get up and move around, and we've done an internship for a little bit and found that I really enjoy it.
And it takes a lot of people coming together to make this all possible. Realtors, builders, and developers have already provided new homes for 8 other wounded warriors.
Very good. Well, today's show's Al Roker has an ambitious plan to raise money for United States service organizations. He's trying to pull off a 34-hour weather broadcast. So let's join him live in New York. Al, you're looking good. Tell us what the USO means, why it means so much to you.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. As we look at your forecast, unfortunately, I cannot hear you, but right now we've got partly cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Tomorrow, 45. Saturday looks nice, 47, and partly cloudy on Sunday, 55 degrees. Right now you're at 48. You factor in the wind chill, not that big a deal, which works out fairly well. But you get to Atlanta, it feels like 33. Pensacola feels like 33. And New Orleans only about 40 degrees. Pushing through. You've got a few scattered showers, no big problems. And then things look good for your weekend. We have been thrilled to be doing this. It's over 20 hours now. And people have been watching us live stream today.com. They've been tweeting us at hashtag Rokerthon. And we're asking people to go to crowdrise.com/Roker. So.
All right, Al, thank you so much. He's doing such a good job. And I actually looked online to see CrowdRise, and he's already raised $37,115. So he's doing really good.
So 20 hours, and his IFB, what he can use to hear, has gone out, and his voice is just on the edge.
Yeah.
He needs some hot tea, not only for that, but for the weather, too, coming up.
He's been doing green tea a lot. I've been kind of checking in on today.com, and I thought my wife and kids were the only one who used that excuse. I can't hear what you're saying. So
right.
Take out the trash. Anyway, so good luck to Al. And, you know, we talked to him last night before as this started, and it was warm here. So after we talked to him, it got cold here. So don't blame me this time. Let's blame Al for this one. The cold front worked, and I'll show you how much drastically colder it is in just a minute. But we've got cold air, we've got clouds, and we've got rain. So a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. Rain, not severe or flooding. It's very light. It's struggling to actually make it to the ground. So not a huge problem the next couple of hours, but don't be surprised if you see a few drops on your windshield. The bigger story has got to be the temperature change. Right now, 40s and 50s. But look at at these numbers. These are the 24-hour temperature change numbers. So compared to where we were yesterday at this time, it's 13 degrees colder in Lewisburg, 16 degrees colder in Durham, 18 degrees colder right now in Henderson than where we were last night at 6 o'clock. So, and it's going to be a long time before we see 70s and 80s again like we had yesterday. So we're going to keep the clouds around for the foreseeable future. We'll get down to about 45 at 8, 43 at 10. Again, small rain chances through tonight. Then after midnight, we'll start to dry out. Temperatures will drop all the way down to 36 by tomorrow morning, and that'll feel like about 30 with a light wind. Also tomorrow morning, we'll start off with some clouds, but eventually we'll get some sunshine in here. Unfortunately, that is going to do absolutely nothing to warm us up. Our 3-degree guaranteed temperature high tomorrow is only 46 degrees as we continue to highlight Alliance Medical Ministry. And I'm going to take a technicality here. The actual high today happened just after midnight. So technically it's 59. You can still say I was wrong, but I'm giving them the money anyway because our afternoon high was 52 and we had forecast 53. So technicality or not, they're getting the 50 bucks, and that brings our total up to 550. They do a great job of serving the uninsured working adults here in Wake County, and they do it for a fraction of the cost for normal health care. So they're a great organization if you're looking to get some medical care or even help them out. Back to the weather maps we go, and there it is. That's the cold front that dropped our temperatures. And it's this area of high pressure that's going to bring sunshine back. But this high pressure is coming from Canada. So you can imagine how much colder the air is up there, and that's why it's going to be colder tomorrow. So as we take you through the night, first of all, the rain moves out very quickly. And after midnight, we're dry, but we're still cloudy. Those clouds are around for the morning commute. But then they clear out shortly after that, and we're completely sunny by lunchtime for the rest of the afternoon and for most of Saturday as well. We don't have clouds back in the forecast until Sunday. But with those clear skies overnight, Friday into Saturday morning, that's when it's going to get really cold. And unfortunately, if you've got a football game to go to, it is going to feel like winter. 36 degrees for high school football Friday night. Our game of the week is Cardinal Gibbons at Southern Durham. But with the wind, that's going to feel like about 30 degrees. So make sure you bundle up both tomorrow morning and really for the next several days. Your 7-day forecast will keep highs in the 40s Friday and Saturday. We get up to 53 Sunday, but we bring clouds back. That 40% chance of rain is probably Sunday night, and then we'll scatter out the rain throughout the whole day Monday, a high of 52. Some of us could knock it out of the 40s. Some of us could actually be in the 60s on Monday. Temperatures are going to be all over the place Monday. But then we've got another cold front, and that drops us back into the 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. And we talked about tomorrow morning in the 30s, Saturday and Sunday morning, temperatures in the 20s, and then we've got overnight lows in the 20s again next week. So it's not cold and then going to warm right back up. It's cold
it's gonna stay
for
cold,
a while.
huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Wes.
All right.
Coming up, school zone speeding. What a police sting revealed about driver behavior.
WNCN is teaming up with North Carolina schools to promote safety around students.
That includes our Break for Buses campaign. It also includes reducing the number of school zone accidents. Durham's Milton Road sits near 3 schools. And recently, a Durham police sting operation found a lot of speeders.
Okay, we've had a lot of complaints about the speed and all that from these schools right here. Clocked at 52. I wrote you citation for 52, okay?
Well, tonight's at 11, we'll show you how fast the average speeder rolls through a school zone, as well as show you which counties are doing the most enforcement of school zone violations.
And coming up, a celebrity crashes family portraits.
Yeah, Taylor Swift proving an unforgettable experience for 2 young fans.
So check out what Taylor Swift did for her fans in Nashville this past weekend. The superstar was out for a jog, but took time to pose for an impromptu photo shoot with 2 young girls. Both were having family pictures taken when Swift was running by, and the singer told the girls to strike a pose, and then they snapped a few pictures.
That's awesome. Perfect timing, huh?
Subsequently broke the internet, too. A lot of people on our website sharing this, a lot of people talking about it online.
Exactly, and I love how her makeup's just perfect when she's jogging. I wish I could look like that.
I could never do that because I don't run.
Right.
So that's my problem.
Oh.
We've got some light rain out there. Nothing to get too worried about. I would worry about getting some warmer clothes because it is going to get colder tomorrow, even though the sun will be back. And we've got lows in the 20s by Saturday morning.
All right, Nightly News is next.
We'll see you back here at 7.